Okay, welcome back to EL 164 Lab 4 Timers Part 2. Divided them in two so I can get more information without running into uh, too large of files. So I'm going to start dividing the labs and some of the longer lectures into two parts so I can get everything I want to get into them. So here we are. We're going to start with lab Part 2. Okay, so we're breaking right into the lab part 2 here. So I failed to mention previously that they got this chart here. What I'm looking for here is just to enter a status of these conditions. Like for instance, what is the status enabled bit when preset equals accumulated, the timer bit, timing bit, and the done bit, and the same thing when the preset is greater than, or excuse me, when the preset is greater than the accumulator. So before it's reached the accumulated value, what are the status of these conditions here? You're welcome to put some value in here if you want, but the preset and accumulated are, that's kind of defined. You got to put a value of what, 2,500 in there, and then you can put accumulated value of something like 2,500 here to make it equal, and here you could put 2,500 here, and then some value less than 2,500 here. So what I'm looking for there. The same thing goes here, do the same thing, enter up the preset value of what, 5,000 this time, and then accumulated value would be, well, again, 5,000. Then as you're making notes of when it's equal, make sure you detail what these bits are doing, if they're on or off throughout here. That's what I'm looking for here. Okay, so without any further ado, we're going to move into part 4 of the lab, or step 4, which is timer off delay. So how do those work? And let's get a handle on how that works. So first thing we have to do, bring this back over here, is develop using a toggle switch to enable a timer. So we're going to do the same logic we did last time, and we're just going to repeat it. So here we're going to go in here, here. We're going to go to a timer. This time, instead of a timer on, we're going to the timer off. We're going to grab an input here. Say I can use the same one that I've already created called toggle. So let's grab that same one, which was bit 8. And we can use the same timer we used last time, which we already labeled as timer, I think. Timer 1, we just called it timer. We can just do that very same thing again. This time the preset's got to be what? Not 2,500 for 2.5 seconds, but 5,000 for 5 seconds. Accumulated value of 0. Okay, so we've got the toggle switch nailed. Now we have to create a program, the timer to turn on a light. So using the done bit. So we're going to go through and do the same thing we did last time. 1, 2, you know what, actually I can do even better yet. I can go here to favorites, this guy and this guy, put this guy. Okay, so I come in here, I can grab timer 1 again, put him here. I got to grab the first one is the done bit. So I'll come in here, timer 1, grab that done bit. Here, I gotta grab an output. Let's grab output data 1. Okay, so now what I can do is copy run, paste run, bam, paste run, bam. Again, copying is so much faster than duplicating. So the next one is not done bit, but enable bit. So let's get that enable bit in there. And data, not 1, but data 2. Oh. Love this Allen-Bradley stuff. 600 clicks later, I'm finally back to where I want to be, 2. And then the last one is timing. So I'll come in here, I grab timer timing, and data 3. So now I've got light done, light enable, and light timing. I got done, enable, and timer timing of timer 1. So it is at that point we should be able to Okay, I downloaded the program, so now we're, as you can see, these rungs on the left and right are highlighted green, so indicate that that it is been downloaded. So if I toggle this switch on, you can see here the accumulated value is set to the preset as soon as I download it. So what does that mean to us? That the off delay timer is already ready to rock. So let's take a look, see what happens here. Resets it to 0 as soon as I turn it on. So we're at 0 here. We've got the done bit on, and we got the enable bit on. So we got the done bit on and enable bit on when we toggle the switch on. So then if I toggle the switch off, this is going to turn off. Now we're going to see this timer take place. We have the done bit on, enable turned off, timer timing turned on, and now all of them are back off again. The preset is equal to the accumulator, and all bits are off. Let's try that again. Reset to 0. Done bit is on, enable bit is on as soon as I close that contact. Open the contact, we start timing. I drop out the enable bit and start the done bit and the timing bit. As soon as that takes place, as soon as the accumulator value equals the preset value, all 3 bits are turned off. So here you should be able to answer all the questions associated with this piece here. So that should get you through here. You should be able to enter the when these states were on, when these states were off, and the preset and accumulated values. So the next piece of this, your tentative timer, we're going to set this to 3 seconds. So in this particular case, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave the logic in place. I'm just going to go over here and make some online edits. So this is how I'm going to go about this. See how it makes this I and R. This is initiated, and this is the previous logic information. So they're saying indicating what's changed here. So now I come in here, I can go down here and say I want to make this a read tentative timer, RTO. Isn't that cool how I can do that? That's pretty sweet. So the preset and accumulated values, as you can see, went to question marks. The preset value has to be set to what? Let's take a look here. 3 seconds. So let's move that back over here and get 3 seconds put in there. So 3 seconds is what? 3,000. Accumulated value is going to be a 0. To accept this, I'm going to come over and click this little button here and say finalize all edits in program. And I want to say yes to that. And wham, well, now I have made an online modification to the program allowing me to switch from timer off to retentive timer. We still have the timer 1, as you can see, the done bit enable and timer still there, and I still have the light. So we're still utilizing all that information. I just thought I'd step it up a little bit and move into the next phase here and start doing some online editing and keeping some of the information that's relevant. So we're not wasting a lot of time in the lab dealing with this kind of information. So the next piece of this is we're going to toggle the switch on and off and see how things respond. Oh, you know what? I have one other piece to this. I have to add what? Because it's retentive timer, I have to toggle switch to enable the reset. So I got to add one more rung of logic to this. So I'm going to go ahead and come in here, and maybe I'll add it to the bottom. I'll add this. See how it goes E right away because there's no information there. I'm going to put it here. I'm going to go back to timer counter, and notice here we've got an RES at the end. That's going to be our retentive timer reset. So we're going to come in here and we're going to grab this information here and slip them right there. So now timer 1 is going to get reset, and we're going to grab the next input available here. So data, I was using 8, let's use 9. And notice the I. So that means that it's not been downloaded to the processor yet. It's just been here local on the computer. You can see the rung's not highlighted in green, indicating that it is scanning that information. It's not, the PLC is not scanning this information. I just created it. It's only on my laptop. So I got to download this information to the PLC. Download to the PLC. Remember, we go download to the PLC. So here we go. Well, yes, I want to send this in there, and bam. Now you can see it is truly being scanned. You see the green on the both sides, and if I trigger this switch, you'll see this guy come on, triggering the reset. Okay, so now let's see how this thing operates. So we're going to come in here, we're going to toggle the switch on. We're going to watch this thing count to 3 seconds. And it operates very closely the same as what a timer on. It works pretty much the same way. Only difference is that it retains that information. So let's see if we can validate that information as well. So right now, if I turn off this toggle switch, it remains at that 3000. You notice the enable bit dropped out when I turned off the toggle switch. That indicates that we're no longer enabled the timer, but the timer done bit is still being held because the accumulation value is equal to the preset. Now if I come down here and press input 9, notice that accumulated value went to 0, resetting that accumulator. So the retentive timer holds that information until what? You hit the reset. So keep that in mind. This is a kind of a handy tool you can use for multiple applications. One of the things that you can accumulate time, like if you are watching how long a sprayer is spraying, for instance, you want to monitor, because you know after you have 10 minutes of spray time, say you need to refill the tank. So you could sit there and monitor how long that sprayer has been running, and that would tell you on and off, on and off, on and off, a total collection of, say, 10 minutes of run time. At that very point, you'll know your tank should only requiring some fill. So good, just a practical application. So anyways, moving along. So now what we're going to do is we're going to toggle the switch on, and we're going to toggle it back off again. Let's see how that works. So we're going to come in here, we're going to hit it on and take it off. Okay, so now you can see I've accumulated 1.051 seconds at this very moment. None of the signals are on. We got none of the bits are on. Our accumulation value is not equal to our preset. Our enable bit is off because we're not enabling the timer, and our done bit has not reached that value of accumulation, or where the accumulation equals a preset, so the done bit is off. So I'm going to come back in here, I'm going to hit this button again for a real quick brief second, and as you can see I added another another 0.2 of a second to it. If I turn it on and off so fast you can't even see it come on the PLC, you'll miss what I've got going on here, so I have to leave it on just a little bit longer. So now we're up to 2 seconds. So I come in here, click it on again, these 2.5 seconds to see how it's maintaining that information, and then eventually it reaches a 3. At that very moment, you can see I'm at the presets equal to accumulator. I've got the bits still on, so it's enable and done bits are set. And as you can see here, we have enable light and the done light on. Enable light, done light on. And when I release that button, I'm going to drop out the enable light, keeping the done bit on until I hit the reset button down here, which is 99. At that very moment, the accumulation is set to 0. One of the points that you got to make sure you have correctly is the timer address here has to be the same as the timer address here. If we do not have that same address here, the reset does not take place. It just resets a different timer. So you got to make sure that address is the same. So that's the relative or the retentive timer. So the rest of the questions associated with the lab over here is regarding how these timers respond and whatnot. So you can fast forward, rewind down as much as you like to get through all that. And I'm sure that'll give you all the information you need. One piece that I do want to share with you is what happens when you try to use a value other than timer for the data type. let's go ahead and process that. I'm going to go ahead and go offline. And I'm going to come in here and I'm going to select something other than a timer. So as you can see here, it only shows timer. So I have to go to all tags to even find something other than a timer. And the challenge you have is usually if you're trying to get, if you're developing tags as you're developing code, this is where you come into a challenge because it doesn't have any timers developed. So it'll come up when you bring that in. You'll see it'll say show timers only, and you won't have any tags in there. So at that point, you have to create a timer tag. But you could also switch to all tags, and then you can see you got all sorts of different stuff in here. So let's grab, like, say, a double integer, because we know it's looking for a 32-bit word. We go ahead and grab that and throw that in there. Immediately, as you can see here on the left, what do we get? We get the E's, and the E's indicate what? We have an error in that run. So we go over here and we say verify run. What's going on with this run? It's going to say right here. Notice the run in routine main. Let's see if I can open this up a little bit further. The RTO operand 0 invalid data type. Argument must match parameter data type. So that's what they're saying there. They're saying the argument must match parameter data type. So when you're looking at that, it seems pretty intuitive at this moment, but when you're developing these timers, I've had students time and time again, they're thinking, oh, it's a 32-bit word, it doesn't matter what word it is as long as it's a 32-bit word. No, it's got to be a timer word because the timer has the timer address, the preset, the accumulated, and the control word associated to that data type. Not just one word of information, not just a double integer. So that is why that does not work. So I'm going to come in here. I got to come back in here, type in timer 1, or just hit timer 1, excuse me. And at that very point, the E goes away, and I'm back. I can go ahead and go back online, and I'll be in good shape. And as you can see, everything went green again. So I am going to go in here and add one more question. What happens when you don't use the correct? I'll just add that in there. So this is the lab. I'm going to go ahead and add that to the lab report here. But this is the lab for this week. I had to break it down into 2 pieces just because anything over 30 minutes seems to get a little sketchy in the YouTube world, I guess. So anyhow, so that is the lab, and we'll be talking to you guys soon.